In this video, I'm going to create an MP4 slideshow using the 4 images that appear in the layer window. I'll start by going up to Window at the top of the user interface, and I'm going to choose Timeline. And when the timeline first appears, we need to click on where it says Create Video Timeline to activate the file. Now, when we first introduce it, there are these purple slide shapes over on the right-hand side, but we want to stop frame format, which would be the matter of clicking on these 3 white boxes in the lower left-hand corner of the timeline. When we do so, you'll see we've got frame 1. All the images appear in there, and it's usually set for default 5 seconds. I'll click on that and I'll choose no delay. Now, in order to just take these layers that we have of our 4 images and place them one after the other in the timeline, we simply have to go to the right-hand side in the upper right-hand corner of the timeline on those white lines. I'll click on that, and if I look down, I'll see the option to make frames from layers, and I'll click on that. So now we can see that in each frame, one of the layers is being represented. Now, it doesn't have the name and the background in all of them, but we see that frame 1 are those by themselves. So I'm going to shift select them in the timeline, and I'm going to delete them so that all that appears is the imagery. Now I'll select each frame, starting with 1, making sure that the background and the text are on, and I'll do that for each one. Now my name layer and my background of white appears on all 4 of them. Now I'm going to shift select all 4 of the frames, and clicking on 0 seconds in the timeline for any of them, I can go and I'll choose 2 seconds. And essentially what that means is it's going to give us 2 seconds hold for each frame. So now if I were to go ahead and tap my space bar, I'll see that those images hold for 2 seconds before moving on to the next one. Now the only last thing to do now is generate the MP4 video. I'll tap my space bar to stop. I'll go up to the top of the user interface and I'll go to File, Export, and you'll see the very last choice is to render video. I'll name and direct my file to a folder and choose render, and this will give me the MP4.